Things are going great. The girl is invested, she's eagerly replying to your text, and you're thinking, yeah, I got this one. And then out of nowhere, she completely pulls back. And now she's suddenly putting in a lot less effort, she's more distant, and the energy feels totally different. When faced with this scenario, most guys just assume that they messed something up. But in reality, this can have absolutely nothing to do with a single thing you said or did. In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly why women pull back as things are going really well, and what is actually happening beneath the surface. Here's the first thing to understand. Women usually don't pull away because things are going well. They pull away because something shifted on an emotional level, often before they're even aware of it. And that's why this whole thing can be so confusing, because that shift is very subtle until you know what to look for. Reason number one, the emotional arc has flattened. Early on attraction often feeds on intrigue, curiosity, and tension. The unknown can be very exciting. Then, at some point, things stabilize. You become predictable, available, easy to read. None of that is bad per se, but it does make things a lot less exciting. When you lose that intrigue, the conversation often stalls and loses momentum. And the girl isn't sitting there consciously thinking, I'm less interested now. She just simply feels less motivated to engage. So she pulls back, not because attraction died, but because the curiosity and the intrigue isn't pulling her forward anymore. Now, the way to prevent this is to avoid becoming too predictable in the first place, especially before you guys have sex. So that means vary up your response times over text. Don't be overly agreeable or accommodating. Tease her, even lightly troll her in a playful way. And whatever you do, don't let that tension die. For example, you can see in these texts I had with a girl who I went on a date with but haven't closed yet, how I tease her while simultaneously building sexual tension in a very smooth way. Reason number two, she invested faster than she realized. This one surprised a lot of guys. They meet a girl and she's investing early. She might do some imagination, projection, even maybe filling in the gaps before they exist. And then one day she has a moment where reality catches up and she goes, wait, hold on. And when that pullback inevitably happens, it's not rejection. It's recalibration, because she's not pulling away from you. She's pulling back from the version of the situation that she created in her head. And this often happens when things feel too easy early on. So, what do you do about this? The solution is simple. You gotta try to strike while the iron is hot. If she's down now, try to set up the date as soon as possible. Don't assume her level of enthusiasm will be the same next week. And if you miss that window of opportunity, it's not the end of the world. Just because she's not interested right now doesn't mean she won't be interested again in the future, assuming you don't blow it up. Reason number three, external stress gets misattributed. This is probably the most common one, and the one most guys usually miss. Life stress, guilt, past trauma, all this can pop out of nowhere and it doesn't announce itself clearly. From your perspective, it's, this chick just went cold. From her perspective, it's, I just don't have the emotional energy for this right now. Then there's misattribution. Even though you might have had absolutely nothing to do with the stress, she might still subconsciously be attaching it to you just because the timing overlaps. So when a girl pulls away, it doesn't always mean that she's reacting to something you did. She might just be reacting to something that she's not even fully aware of yet. So how do you handle this correctly? Well, first you need to get to the bottom of what's actually going on, because girls won't often come out right and say, my best friend just got married and I'm stressed that will never happen for me, so I'm deciding to take it out on you. And this is where takeaways can be an absolute game changer. Here you can see a text example from the same girl as earlier. After we went on our first date, she started becoming a little snappy and distant over text. So I strategically used a takeaway, and that caused her to constantly articulate what's going on. Once she became aware of that, the behavior stopped, and we ultimately went on many more dates. Now that won't always happen. Some girls lack the self-awareness to connect the dots, and if that happens, you just simply focus on other girls. If she comes back, cool. If not, you're still good. There's also one more very common reason for why women pull back that deserves an honorary mention, especially around things like sexting, hookups, or coming over. And it's mood shifts. One night she's feeling adventurous and maybe a little frisky, maybe she had a glass of wine or two, so she sends you some sexual text. And the next day, different mood. She's now feeling guarded and self-conscious, so you get a text like, I'm not interested in a hookup. From your logical brain, you're thinking, bitch, you were just sending me nudes last night. But from her perspective, there's not even a contradiction. She's just going off how she feels right now, and that's her present reality. Past texts be damned. That's why usually when you're dealing with conservative girls, it's better not to sexualize too much over text unless you can meet that same night. So, in conclusion, when things seem to be going well and the girl pulls back, don't panic. It doesn't mean you messed up. It doesn't even necessarily mean that you permanently lost interest. The biggest mistake guys make here is they start chasing more or over investing. Don't do that. Instead, just use a takeaway or two and let the situation breathe. Usually if you play it cool, a lot of times you can salvage things later on. And remember, a woman's mood can change day by day, which directly affects how sexual she's going to be or even generally how invested. That's why, as I said, you want to strike while iron is hot. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think if you had situations like this and what you thought was happening at the time.